You know, when I started booting up this game to start playing, I didn't know what to expect. I thought that I might not like it because it's just Far Cry, but Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, you know? But I mean, come on, this world, this just epic, every scene is just a freaking movie moment. Are you kidding me? This game is awesome. One of the main reasons why I hadn't picked this game up yet was because I was waiting for them to come out with a third-person mode. And knowing Ubisoft and what they've turned into, it was such a pipe dream for me to actually be able to play this game in third person, but when they came out and said that they were adding a third-person mode, I was in 100%. And for this game originally being a first-person game, I would say that the implementation of the third-person view is actually really well done. There are things that are still in first person, such as cutscenes, swimming, and interacting with the environment, but for the most part, the implementation of this third-person view is actually done really well. So now you know why I waited so long to play this game. Now let's get into what makes Avatar Frontiers of Pandora a game that might be worth getting. And right off the bat, I just wanted to talk about the World of Pandora that Ubisoft has crafted. This is by far one of the most beautifully rendered gaming environments that I've ever witnessed in my entire life. And it's not just an empty shell of a forest. You'll see animals running around, you'll see them eating from the environment or drinking water at the rivers. And you'll even see the Na'vi people from time to time gathering fish or finishing a hunting party. And it doesn't just stop at looking pretty, but it sounds like I'm in a forest. It sounds like there's things going on around me that I don't understand, or there's a visual cue from like a plant that might be exploding that I just don't know what it's going to do, but I have an idea because I'm looking at it. And all these things add up to make this world so believable. And then in direct contrast of the beauty and the splendor of what Pandora brings, you come across the RDA, and they've built these facilities that are negatively impacting the planet. And this isn't one of those times in games where they just tell you that something bad is happening and they don't show you. You literally see the world dying around you as you enter these areas where the RDA facilities are still operational. And your character coughs as he's navigating through this polluted area, and then on top of that, towards the rivers, you'll actually end up seeing dead animals. And so you really do feel like the RDA is negatively impacting this environment in such a horrible way. And then there's also the fact that you can't even harvest any of the materials from that area until you clear out that facility. And this is important because in order to upgrade your character in the game, it's not like you have a leveling system in the traditional sense. In this game, you level up your character by upgrading your gear, and the way to upgrade your gear is to find materials in the world. And then when you realize that you need a material from that specific area that's covered by the pollution, you're then driven to take out those RDA facilities. And in my opinion, I think this is an amazing game design choice. And the reason I think that is because not only are you seeing that the environment is being negatively affected by the RDA facilities, but you as a player have a really good reason to want to take out these RDA facilities because you want to get to that next level of your gear system. And so once you've finally taken up the courage to go take on an RDA facility and you've conquered it, you'll notice that the environment comes and takes back over this land, and it's just such a cool thing to see. And so as you can see, this world was designed in a way that makes you feel like it's alive, and that plays such a big factor in the replayability of this game and how much I want to go back and live in that environment and play in that environment, because oh my gosh, like it felt like I was really on Pandora, and that is such a cool freaking thing. If you're enjoying yourself and have gotten to this point in the video, remember to like and subscribe so you can see more content just like this. Now let's get back to the video. And to put the story in perspective, essentially you play as a Na'vi child who was taken as a kid and then raised by the RDA. But of course things go wrong and you end up getting put into cryo sleep and then wake up and are let loose on Pandora. And so from here, this is where your journey begins, where you start to become the Na'vi that you always wanted to be. You go and end up bonding with an Ikran. But one of the coolest aspects about bonding with that Ikran is the fact that for about 3 hours before that, you were navigating this world on foot. And so you really do feel that getting that Ikran is such a huge accomplishment, because now you can navigate this world at like lightning speed. And I gotta say, the mission where you actually go and start bonding with the Ikran is like one of all time. The views, the way that you look around at the nest and all the different things and like these floating mountains, it's like one of the coolest missions that I've played so far. So now that we've established that this world is worth exploring, it's worth playing in, what are you going to be doing in this world? What's the type of gameplay you're going to have? And I think the best way to describe this gameplay is it's a unique twist on the Far Cry formula, but just in an avatar world. And what I mean by this is it comes with the Far Cry basics, such as clearing out camps, exploring an open world, and taking out enemy patrols. And where this game kind of differentiates itself from other Far Cry games is I feel like the upgrade system is done really well, because like I mentioned before, in order to upgrade your character, you need to find materials in the world to then upgrade your gear. And this just makes for a really immersive experience. And while that gameplay aspect might be one of the most annoying things for some people, I found it to be one of the most enjoyable parts of the game, because I had to go and explore this world. I had to find specific areas of the map that had the materials that I needed. And I found this extremely enjoyable. But I do know that level gating is something that a lot of people do not like. But for me, I felt like it just gave me breathing room to essentially explore the world and enjoy it. But I'm sorry if you're one of those people that don't enjoy that. But if you do enjoy being in an immersive world and enjoying those things, then you'll like it here. And part of that immersive experience leads into the combat. And what I mean by that is they really brought to life the Na'vi combat experience. Every arrow that you shoot from your bow hits like a freaking truck on these humans. It's a one-shot kill. If they're inside their mechs, you can take out their vents and it kills them in one shot. And same thing goes for fighting all of the animals you find throughout the world. They have weak spots, and if you use your heavy bow to hit those weak spots, more than likely they will go down in one shot or two shots. And so I gotta give props to Ubisoft for really curating a Na'vi experience where you feel like a Na'vi, because you feel powerful. You feel like you're navigating this world in a way that humans couldn't. And to me, that's one of the coolest things about this game. So up to this point, I've only been talking about the base game of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. There's 2 DLCs that have been out for a while, and then there's a brand new one called From the Ashes that just came out. I haven't gotten around to playing the other 2 DLCs, but the newest one, From the Ashes, I did buy. And man, I am super happy I bought it, because it's freaking sick. So this DLC expands on the story of Solek, the dog tag warrior. He's essentially your Na'vi companion in the main game, and he's like one of the badass Na'vis that you're like, why don't I look like him? Why am I not him? Well, in this DLC, you are him. And that's the best thing ever. And one of the things that I love besides playing as Solek, which is my favorite character in all of the Avatar games so far, is the fact that the story takes a dark turn. Like, there's darkness in this story. There's people dying, there's things going on, there's trees getting burned down. The world is just on fire. Whereas in the base game, you're kind of just engaging in the world, you're taking out the bad guys, you're making sure that the world ends up healing. But in this DLC, so far at least, it's just burning, and you're just essentially on a warpath to try and get revenge. And in this DLC, they introduce a new enemy type, which is another Na'vi clan from the movie that just came out, and they're covered in ash, they're covered in white, and they're kind of difficult to fight, but they are so cool because they just add a dynamic to the game that you just haven't seen before, kind of like a darkness that the Na'vi have. They're like twisted and do these horrible things to the animals and mutate them and all that stuff, and it just makes for a really interesting story and an interesting addition to the world that was already awesome. And so the story for this DLC is really great, but I mean, they really went all out for the combat additions to this game. They added takedowns, so you can do stealth takedowns with animations and everything. They added the ability for your Ikron, when you're on your Ikron and you get an enemy really low, that you can do a finisher on them, and it's the sickest looking finisher you'll ever dang see. And then the thing is you get into combat and you build up this meter, which is like a rage meter, and the moment you hit that rage meter and it gets all the way full, you are doing so much damage, and you can insta take down enemies inside of their mech suits, and it's just so cool. It just adds such a fun dynamic of aggression to the game that wasn't there before. And at last, we come to the point where you ask yourself, is this game for me? And I gotta say, if you're a type of person who likes Far Cry games and likes going and clearing out bases and then building up your repertoire of weapons and skills and all the different things, then I would say 100% this game is for you. But if you absolutely loathe level gating and don't want to have to go into the world to upgrade your character to essentially be powerful enough to take on the next enemies, I would say maybe this isn't your cup of tea. But I mean, I would honestly recommend this game to anyone who's looking for a fun game to play that will just bring them into the world and make them want to stay there. I know for a fact that I'm going to keep playing this game and that I'm going to finish it, the DLC, the main game, and I'm probably going to just keep playing it because I've had so much freaking fun playing this, and I would say if this game's on sale, it's an instant buy. So with that, first off, a thank you for sticking around. You guys are freaking awesome, and I hope to see you on Pandora.